In a few hours, we'll hear what Apple have been working on. We expect to see the iOS 16 as the main highlight of the event, with iPadOS 16, macOS 13, watchOS 9 as well, maybe all sharing the spotlight. What I'm really looking forward to though is iPadOS 16 and the pro features that could be coming to this beast over here. As some of you know, I've been pretty vocal about how bad the software is on the iPad Pro. It's arguably one of the best hardware available on a tablet. But with Apple not allowing us to use it like a pro device, it really hasn't gone beyond it being a great note-taking tablet and a great device to watch content on. Recently, I've been trying the Tab S8 Ultra, and let me tell you, I can actually get some work done on it. And it's a small thing, right, like being able to connect to an external monitor and it just natively supporting it, or using Samsung Dex, for example, to really multitask like you would on a computer. I've covered that in a different video and how impressive that device is. But going back to Apple, I think they really have some catching up to do here. And if you've been following the latest rumors, it's all but certain that we are going to get a similar functionality now on the iPad, you know, like the Samsung Dex, being able to resize windows, having floating windows like you would on a computer. And actually, you know, what Apple have been saying for a long time, you know, this is potentially your next computer. But recently, it hasn't materialized. Apple are copying Samsung. That never happened before. To be honest, they're all as bad as each other, so I'm not really gonna get into that. As a consumer though, all I care about is, can I get my value for money? You know, can I get the stuff that was promised to me back in April 2021 when the iPad Pro was launched? If you like this sort of videos, there's loads on the channel and there'll be more. I will be doing my reaction to the event as well immediately after. And I will be at my buddy's channel, Patrick Rambles, just before the event, just geeking out about it, you know, about the potential announcement. So if you like this sort of thing, if you like Apple products and announcements or any other tech that you might like, hit the subscribe button. I'm here once a week. I love my iPad Pro. I think it's a beautiful display, and when coupled with this beautiful Magic keyboard, it truly is a pleasure to use. Everything about it just feels, just feels right. The only thing that lets it down a little bit, well, a lot, is the software. It's the lack of features that, you know, to actually get work done that really annoys me. You know, you might be ready to do some proper work on it, and then you've all of a sudden realize I can't do it. You know, I have to then, to be really productive, have to go to my MacBook Pro. At least in my case, outside of typing script or scribbling some notes, maybe a little bit of photo editing is actually very good for that on things like Lightroom. There's 16 gig of RAM in this thing, right? You know, and the M1 chip as well. So come on, Apple, you know, let us use this thing. I'm not gonna get rid of my MacBook Pro, you know, that would never happen. But I'd love to make the most of this combination of using the iPad alongside it and making, you know, some tweaks on the iPad, maybe when I'm on the go, and actually doing the heavy lifting on the MacBook Pro. So let's see what they do. Not long now, but they better do something, right? Because there will be a lot of angry people out there, including myself, if they don't do something to make this device more useful. macOS 13 is also rumored to launch at WWDC 2022 in a few hours, and from what I can tell, these are just refinements to macOS 12. To be perfectly honest, I'm quite happy with the M1 Max MacBook Pro. I'm always a bit skeptical when it comes to Apple software updates on the MacBooks, mainly because I have this conspiracy theory that when a new MacBook is about to be launched, or, you know, we get a new refresh, the OS seems to slow it down for a little bit, you know, and you know, all the previous models before this one, I've experienced that slowdown. Could be just a conspiracy theory, but it definitely happens. We're also going to be hearing about a new version of the watchOS. watchOS doesn't excite me so much, and I wish it would do a better job of recognizing some of the workouts that I do and maybe be kind of better at doing sleep tracking. But on the whole, I'm kind of indifferent to it. I know WW is usually a software release event, but Apple have revealed the Mac Pro and the Pro Display XDR back in 2019. So hopefully we might see something of a hardware nature in this event. And hopefully that's the M2 chip. That would be awesome. So going back to my point about software limitations, I think the M1 is probably good enough for most people, including pros out there. So yes, the M2 would be no doubt a great advance in performance, but I'm more interested in the software. You know, I'm not really that keen on having more power that I then can't use. You know, can I plug my M1 iPad Pro here to a screen and not feel like I'm in 2007? That would be great, right? Is that too much to ask? I think we've all been quite patient with Apple. Something we've been expecting for a couple of years now, and I did a video about this last year, is the augmented reality stuff. I love my smartphones, but I honestly believe that this form factor had its heyday now. Call me old-fashioned, but I'm really done with holding this rectangular mini computers, right? Give me something useful that augments and interacts with the real world. And I know we're some way away from it, but some glasses would be awesome, you know, even if it's just some limited functionality for now. Something tells me though that Apple are still selling quite a few of these iPhones, so departing from this form factor and innovating in a different form factor may not be a primary focus for Apple. Looking forward to it though. Like I said, the iPadOS 16 is the main thing that I'm excited about. I want to make this thing more useful, but I'm curious to know from the community here, you know, what are you expecting and what are you excited about, if anything? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you soon. Bye. Pro. That guy must have a tiny... I'm just gonna wait. It's good vibration, right?